come go up here to the city gate, they're going to assign us a route.
Right.
The city set up 4 different routes. There's 5 different companies. They let 20 carriages out at a time. That way we don't bombard the city all at once, and the
Great.
different routes spread us around town.
Smart.
So we're not all.
Smile, man.
But that's what this is. The one is this route is the one most people think they want to go on. Whether it is or not, they think this is the one. In which they're all good. Whoa, Matt. So there's something wrong with that church or that steeple. While y'all are looking at it to see what it is, usually I find out where you're from, but I already know where you're from. This was a British colony, and in England, brick was a poor man's material. I sort of got off on the wrong thing, something I talked about back there. But anyway, you'll see a lot of buildings built of brick, and then we covered them over with stucco trying to mimic the British. So you'll see that. I'll show you some more of those, because I usually talk about that, and I'm sorry the heat's got me. But that's what, no stone indigenous to this area. Do y'all know where these stones are? Now in some other parts of the city, you may find some buildings that are taller than this, but they still won't be taller than our church. This traffic, I might go that way. That's how you go through.
What is that noise?
Somebody pulling this. You'll see right here.
Ah, okay.
We hit a breast here, so we're able to move a lot of supplies around. Look at the black discs on these buildings here, y'all.
Yeah.
These are earthquake bolts. After that earthquake in 1886, 80 to 90% of our brick and masonry buildings had suffered damage.
Wow.
The war had just ended, and we didn't have a whole bunch of money. So we couldn't just tear all these buildings down and rebuild. So someone came up with the idea of earthquake bolts. And what that is a washer on the outside of the building.
Smart.
They ran a rod through that was threaded on the end.
I would do that too.
They did that from the other side, and where they met in the middle, there was a turnbuckle. Every so often, you raise up the floorboard of your house, because these would run under your floor. And you would turn that turnbuckle just a little bit, and it would gradually pull the building down.
Wow.
Now, y'all, those are supposed to be temporary. I don't know.
Farm girl who
Right.
cut your teeth
Cut my
on
teeth
horses.
on a horse. Yeah, I've been riding them since I was in diapers.
Yeah.
No. Now, we're on Church Street, but we're only going to be here for a minute. We're going to turn up this little alley here. Hopefully Max doesn't have any problems with all this orange paint on the street.
Okay.
Step G. Step G. Come on, step G. It's all right, Max. Part of why I like a 1R so much is you get to go down these little alleys, because you don't get to do this on other routes. So, come on. And he retired a couple of years ago. He was only 96.
Wow.
Yeah. He had passed away around his 97th birthday. This year would have been his 100th. But he has worked all over town. He has worked in the Smithsonian, and Ronald Reagan named him a national craftsman.
Wow.
So we're all proud of him.
That's
They say him and his wife sent 15 or 20 nieces and nephews through college on his work.
Oh.
So he did a whole bunch of stuff.
That's amazing.
I told y'all about those earthquake bolts. If you look at this little peach color house on the left, you see those stars. Those are just fancy earthquake bolts.
Beautiful idea. Smart people.
Now, the first time I came down here, they told me I could come down here. I came down here in my truck first. Because I was like, ooh. But, so it's a little narrow. But it's, like I said, it's a good little area. I wouldn't want there to be a puddle here with Max, I guess. Because he'd want to go left or right. Right. So,
What a great idea.
yeah. And this used to be an old stable. These arch-shaped windows, that's where horses used to stick their heads out.
Oh.
Today, someone bought it, gutted it, it's their beautiful home. But it was the stable for this house here.
Not 2 stories, just 1 story of
Well,
stables.
no, what happened, the horses and the carriages would have been on the first floor. The slaves that took care of the horses and carriages, they would have lived on the second floor. So yeah, so you will see stables and like to a kitchen house. The kitchen would be on the first floor, but the slaves that maintained the kitchen or cooked or whatever, they would have lived on the second floor. So you will see them two-story. And then y'all, the church here, this is First Scots Presbyterian Church.
Wow.
During the Civil War, churches donated their bells for shot and cannon. This church donated both of its bells.
Wow.
Well, at the end of the war, they found they had lost 70% of their male congregation to the war.
Whoa.
So they decided to keep their bell towers silent in honor of those men.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, in the 1990s, a member of the congregation passed away, left the church a large sum of money with the stipulation they replace at least one bell. Wow. So they went to England, they found a bell cast 1814, which is the year this building was built. And they purchased it and placed it in one of the towers.
Wow.
They did keep the other tower silent in honor of those men that had died in the war. And Donna, you can't see which one. And I used to know, but I forgot. Possible means of support. It touches the first, second, and third floors. Doesn't touch any walls and has no center pole for support.
Wow.
Your weight is handled on a cantilever system. Your weight is supported by the step above you and the step below you.
Amazing.
Also, the very loose translation of that is frozen horses. Comes from Napoleonic time. When they put the spears out in the field and the horses would charge and they would be impaled, they looked like frozen horses. So that's where that name comes from.
Wow.
Now this house here, y'all, this was the home of Otis Mills. Whoa. He owned and constructed the Mills House Hotel up the road. Whoa. During the Civil War, he let General P.G.T. Beauregard, commander of the Confederate troops, use this for his headquarters. And then the very next home is the oldest house in the area. This house was built in 1720. This was the home of our first Royal Lieutenant Governor William Bull. We had proprietary law first, which was a business venture. Didn't work out too good. We asked to be put back under the reign of the king, and when we were, that was the lieutenant governor's home. I mentioned 75-year rule. See this carriage block here? Been there 75 years. It's staying to help Charleston keep looking hysterical. No, historical. Your carriage can pull up there, step down more easily. That's what anything 75 years old or older cannot be changed by the hand of man. These homes here, I started telling you this earlier, but I had missed it. You see, hello there. You see they're brick and then covered over with stucco. And that's what they did a lot. Not step up, Mac. Come on, Mac. This was a British colony, and in England, brick was a poor man's material, so you didn't want your buildings made of brick, you wanted them made of stone. So people would step G. We have never been on that street before. He was going that way.
Yeah, I saw it.
But anyway, they would build them of brick, cover them over with stucco, then draw lines in it to make it look like stone, trying to mimic the British. But like I said, they wouldn't do the whole house because everybody was doing the same thing. They didn't have to fool anybody. So. And then look at this house, y'all. Whoa, nice. Look at this house. See down the side? That is wood. See it? Look at the front. Looks like stone. That is wood carved to look like stone. The carving of those deep beveled grooves called rustication. And you can find that in Mount Vernon and Colonial Williamsburg. But this is a privately owned home here.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful?
I like this one.
Yeah.